What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Thought Provoking Podcast. Today's episode is going to be Shortcomings in Relationships, and this is the hot seat. Got a special guest today. Got my girl, Nicole.
Hey, y'all.
Miss Nikki, how you doing?
I'm good.
Okay.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm grateful,
I definitely appreciate you
add
coming in.
something.
And this was last minute,
That's
me reaching
okay.
out, so I
Yes.
appreciate you being able to find the time to do it. So shout out
Absolutely.
to you for that. As you guys can see, got shoes up here for a reason. There's a black designer, fashion designer, and sneaker designer named Devlin Carter. You can find his website at SIA Collective, SIA_collective on Instagram. These here, nice comfortable shoe. This is the Tiffany pack here. Got this one here, and this one is the Fahrenheit. And last but not least, got this one here, which is the Survivor. So make sure, man, y'all go to his website, SIA Collective on Instagram. Check out what he got going on over there. Sneakers, fashion, all of that. He also gives back to the community. So shout out to him. So before we start to get into the subject, I like to ask all our guests that come on, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Where are you at mentally and business-wise? If there's nothing business-wise, kind of skip over that. But where are you at mentally?
Mentally, I don't know. It goes back and forth. It depends on the day. Today, mentally, I'm about a 7.
7.
Yeah,
Ain't bad.
7,
7.
8-ish. I try to maintain a positive mentality, positive thoughts, positive
Like that.
affirmation. So I'm pretty good today.
Is there anything that's missing that could take you from that 7-8 range to a 10?
Myself. Me
Yourself.
getting out of myself and out of my thoughts. I tend to be an overthinker. And so
Yeah.
a lot of times I will just think myself into oblivion, and I really just need to come up out of myself. That's all.
So you
But
know what the issue is.
yes.
Okay.
Very aware.
So ain't no
It's me.
need to try and assist you because you really know what's going on. Okay.
It's me.
I like that. Me personally, I would say I'm between a 7 and an 8 myself. I'm in my own way as well. Me doing different projects, I kind of want to rush the process instead of letting it happen naturally. So I think with that going on, that's
Yes.
an issue that I need to just
Me
slow
too.
down and say,
Yep.
hey, enjoy the moment, enjoy the progression of what you're doing, and keep pushing from there. I would say business-wise, I would say that I'm at a strong 8. What prevents me, I think, from a 10 is really time.
Okay.
Really time. Trying to put my hands in so many different business ventures. A lot of times you need to slow down, focus on one particular thing, make that situation happen. Once that pans out, you can move on to the next situation
Yes.
and go from there.
So true.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. I asked you where you are mentally and business-wise. Again, thank you for coming on the podcast. And today, you in the hot seat along
Okay.
with me.
All right,
We are
well,
discussing shortcomings in relationships
Okay,
and
I'm
whatever
ready.
that means to you. Relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend wise, situations with your kids, friends, whatever that situation may be, I want you to get into that.
Okay, well, shortcomings. I'm gonna start with relationships.
Okay.
My shortcoming in relationships. Oh well,
Yep, this is the hot seat.
I'm perfect. I don't have any flaws.
I know the feeling.
Okay.
I know the feeling. I'm
It's
with you.
them. It's not me.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, as much as we don't want to admit our flaws, I do have some shortcomings. I will say I don't have a lot of relationship experience, despite the fact that I have 2 children.
Okay.
Okay.
Shout out to the
They
kids.
were they were made by Immaculate Conception, all right?
Yeah, I like that.
No, but I've never. It's only been recently that I wanted to be a serious relationship person, to where I've just really wanted to commit to one person. And I think that just comes with age and maturity. Previously, I would say my shortcomings in relationships. I am an issue of mine is I want somebody to be in love with me immediately. It's like
I hear this quite often here. Immediately.
I'm the type of person, if I meet you or if I'm willing to give you my number, I either really like you or I don't like you at all. There's no in between with me. And so, like, I'm falling in love in 3 days. If you text me good morning 3 days in a row, we're together. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, he needs to love me and just me. Like, drop all your other bitches. Okay.
Y'all hear that right, fellas?
But no, I don't so much feel that way now, but that has been my past mentality going into relationships. I mean, I'm somewhat of I would say a quick mover, kind of. It's just, I can't help it. I'm like, I either like you or I don't. Like, I want this to work out. So my shortcoming is patience. I don't really take the time to really get to know a person. I just like them. I want them to like me. We can go off merrily together. It's going to be great. So I've learned over time to just kind of be patient, try to really get to know a person, because a person, if you give them enough time, will really show you who they are. And, you know, as a result of my impatience, I've had to learn the hard way about people, about their intentions with me. And just, you know, I take it one step at a time now. But
so let me ask you this. Being impatient, does that actually stem from somewhere?
I think it's just nothing in particular that I can think of. I just believe that's like my nature is impatience. I think I've pretty much always been like that, just because it's like human nature. You just want instant gratification. You want it to happen now. Like, if I'm feeling it, it needs to happen. I haven't always been considerate of how another person felt about a situation. And so it's like, well, I like you. Like, you need to like me too.
I like that. That's interesting now.
Yeah.
That's interesting now.
Oh, it really hasn't worked to my benefit. But you know what? I'm still learning.
I don't think it worked for any of us, to be honest. I don't think it worked for any of us.
Yes.
So I got you in the hot seat, but I'm also putting myself in the hot seat as well.
Okay.
An issue that I've struggled with is feeling the need to compromise with anybody. You know, I felt growing up, I got to making good money, made good decisions, took care of my kid. At that particular time, I only had one. And I felt like, if you're not doing what I want you to do, you're not acting the way that I feel my woman's supposed to act, then you can go.
Yeah.
I didn't care nothing about how you felt. This is my feelings on it. Yeah,
okay.
I felt I was the man. I'm the prize in this situation, not the woman. I'm the prize, because I also was very judgmental. You know, I looked at a lot of other guys. Oh my God, I couldn't tell me nothing back then.
I'm the least judgmental person you will probably meet, like, because I know I kind of move to the beat of my own drum and kind of do what I call myself, like a flower child. Like, I'm a gypsy. I move to the beat of my own drum. I just kind of, you know, wherever the wind takes me, wherever my spirit takes me, that's where I want to go. Like, that's how I operate. So as a result of that, I have made decisions that have not always been the best. And so it's difficult for me to judge other people when I have made such bad decisions in my past too.
I need to learn that right there.
Yeah.
Because I know I done messed up, but I still was judged. I was quick to judge. Right. You know, but I think I had in my mind that because I felt I was doing all these different things that people around me weren't doing, I would see so many people complain about certain situations on social media that, oh, this guy treat me like this, or he don't do this. I wish I had a guy doing this. I felt I checked off all of those boxes. So
I need you to act right.
Yeah. You're going to do what I want you to do.
Okay.
And I had to realize quickly.
How did that work for you?
I was single for a long time. Long time.
All right.
And that goes to say, I found a relationship that I really wanted to actually work. I thought that we would actually build a family together. This is it. Okay. Marriage, the full package is what I thought this would actually be. And I blew it strictly because I was in my own way. I couldn't accept. Well, I didn't believe in the love language situation back then. Loving a person the way they need to be loved instead of how I feel. Oh, man. It blew my relationship. It blew it because the small things she was looking for, the picnics, the affection, the walks in the park.
It don't take a lot. Like, women are such... Just because... I can't say we're simple, but it does not take a lot. Like, we like what we like. We are... simple in what makes us feel loved, and we just ask for those little things. Like, it doesn't.
And you tell us.
And we tell you.
And I still wasn't listening.
We write a dissertation about it. And y'all still will be like, well, this is how I want to love you. Let me buy you this bag. And I'm like, well, the bag is nice, but I didn't want a bag. Like, I'm not a bag person. I'm okay with this $20 bag I got from this boutique.
She hitting home because that's what I was doing. I was buying the bag.
I don't need an MCM bag. This is nice. Now I may wear it, but I didn't want that. Yeah. I wanted you to bring me lunch from Olive Garden because that's what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? It's just so simple. Like our favorite meal, bringing home our favorite meal when we don't have to ask. Pretty much doing things, learning about us, doing things we don't have to ask you to do. Is pretty much like, but we do tell you guys.
Yeah. And I ignored all the signs.
Okay.
And it got me dumped.
All right.
Put that out there, it got me dumped.
Okay.
And I tried my hardest to fight for that relationship, which also taught me that when it comes to guys, and I hope this trend ends, we love after the fact. Yes. We love hard after the fact. We understand after the fact.
It's getting hot in here, y'all.
Women out the gate, they love and treat you the way that this will continue to be. And I think we get in this mode as men to say, we the prize. We're going to do things our way. And if you don't like it, these women over here still want me. Not realizing once that attention kind of fades out, I start to value, I really wanted this over here.
She don't really measure up to what I had. Maybe they do grab my attention, but I'm not really feeling the connections over here.
Yeah. And I had to go through that. I'm going to give you a little quick breakdown. So I was thankful that I had a homeboy who kind of toned me down a little bit and said, some of the things that you say and some of the things that you do, can you imagine the roles being reversed? Well, this woman did all of this and said all of this to you. And I'm like, wow. So when it hit home to me, I had this extravagant, elaborate plan. I asked the young lady, would she give me an hour of her time? Mm-hmm. And what I did was I had this whole plot planned out. I was taking her down memory lane.
Okay.
I took her back to the neighborhood of where I first met her. And, I broke this whole spiel of, this is where I first met you. And, didn't know where this was actually going to go. And then, I took her to several different places. And I walked her all down memory lane. I got to breaking it down to her, this house right here. Do you know why I bought you to this? She said, oh, man, you bought this house? No, I ain't buy this big, expensive house. Definitely didn't do that. But what I did realize is, had I bought this house, it wouldn't have been a home. Because had I kept getting my own way, ignoring the signs, not loving you the way you want to be loved.
You better speak to these people.
It wouldn't have been a home. It just been a house because y'all was going to leave. Mm-hmm. So I had to go through this situation to improve my way of thinking, getting out of my own way, and actually, saying, I'm kind of the problem.
Yeah.
I could find fault in everybody else, but I was never looking at while I'm pointing. I got these fingers pointing back at me to say, you're the issue too. I didn't see it that way. I felt I got money. I got a good paying job. I take care of my kids. Like, there's no way you could think I'm doing anything wrong.
Let me get out the baby violin for you.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's what you're supposed to do. Welcome to adulthood.
Welcome to it.
Okay.
Welcome to it.
But we don't like you all using that as a power, holding it over our heads, because it's like, well, that's what, not that you're supposed to do those things, but, we don't want to hear about it.
And I thought that overshadowed everything else. Yeah. I never grew up in a household where love and affection was displayed.
Okay.
So it always made me feel a little weird, uncomfortable. So how I would show love to you is buy you the bags, the shoes. I would do the trips, all the extravagant, because that was my comfort.
While we like those, we are very, we feed off energy, affection, and so we need it takes more than just that.
Yeah.
So
when you got to a place of realizing things that was an issue in your relationship, did it affect you moving forward, or did you quickly learn and say, all right, let me make these adjustments and move forward?
Oh my goodness, it took me a while to make adjustments. Adjustments? What? You do the same thing over and over until it drives you crazy. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's true.
No, I didn't make any adjustments. I just kept going into the next situation with the same
mentality.
Same mentality, the same. It just, because I'm such a person, in my past, I have not always been a person that has been willing to compromise. I have been very selfish. I have made everything about me in the past, not now, in the past.
Okay. For the record.
For the record, we're gonna okay. And so I never really took the time to be insightful about what the issue was. It was just, well, let's just move on. And because I can be kind of emotionally detached, it was like, well, let me just block how I feel about that and then just go into this situation. And not necessarily carrying baggage, but not doing anything different either. And so that really didn't work in my benefit because nothing changed. And so that was kind of driving me crazy because it's like, well, I'm going into this next situation feeling like I'm being the loving person I need to be, being the girlfriend is such a sketchy title because I can't necessarily say I've probably been a girlfriend maybe 2, maybe 3 times in my life, despite people I have talked to.
Okay. More situationships than anything.
The
Situationships, pretty spin.
The situationships I have been in the past have not really proven to be so successful, and so it's really difficult. It's really difficult to speak on because they've just been situationships. So okay. All right.
So let me ask you. Obviously, all of us have friends to a degree, or who we consider in our circle. Has anybody ever pointed out these flaws to you?
Yes.
Say, hey, and you ignored it.
Yes.
Because you want the issue, right? So that's what,
Shout out to Shayna Walker.
Okay,
she is
Shayna.
really, she probably knows me the best of anyone. Okay. She has been putting up with my bullshit for a long time. For many years. We've been friends over 20 years. And she will tell me, like, Nikki, it's you. And I'm like, girl, it's not me.
Yeah.
It's him. It's not me, okay?
So you would say Shayna is the voice of reason for you. She kind of
always. That is like my balance. She is my balance. She is the voice of reason. And even though I knew most of the time she was right, it was difficult for me to admit because I've learned that I can be very prideful as well. And so I was like, well, damn, it's me? Like, it can't be me. I'll joke about it now, but I know looking back, and she knows, it's me. And that's okay. I'm all right with that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I've learned from, and I'm still learning.
So let me ask you, did this ever play a factor? Because this is just my perspective. Growing up, we went to high school. We're from the same city.
Yes.
That's exactly how I know you. I always considered you to be one of the popular women. So do you think that, would you say you considered yourself to be one of the popular ones? Or you didn't really?
I didn't really group myself into any particular. I've never thought of myself as that. I felt like a lot of people knew me because I can't necessarily say I knew a lot of people.
Okay. I think you was a little popular.
Okay.
With
the guys, maybe. Yeah.
Well, let me run the little script to you.
All right.
If there ever was an award for the Jag, you remember the club, the Jag?
I remember the Jag.
Miss Nikki was the VIP member. Let me run it down to you. Any guy that went to this club at that particular time, the Jag, if you got you a dance with Miss Nikki Nicole, you was the man. When I say back in them days when you had the dance hall music, and you had
because it wasn't twerking just yet.
No, it wasn't twerking yet.
What was that? What do we call that? Bump and grind?
Now it's kind of like the island dancing
like
and stuff like
music?
that. Yeah, it was slow wine. It was a lot slow wine. That's what it was.
That part.
Nikki was the MVP.
Okay, well,
like if you got you a dance, you was on cloud 9. So you was definitely. And the girl can sing. Did y'all know that? The girl can sing. Not sing. Sing.
I'm doing a little something.
Sing. Speaking of the singing, what I don't understand is why you was never on any of these rappers' records. Nobody reached out to you to say
locally.
Period.
To be honest, I used to have a passion for singing.
Okay.
When I was younger, and maybe even up until my early 20s. But as I became a parent and then just dealing with all the issues from that and trying to find my way, trying to figure everything out, being a parent so young. I had my first son when I was 19, so he's 17 now. I love him to death, but I lost my passion. I'll say that. I mean, I'll do a good karaoke every now and then, but
Just for fun.
I've never wanted to pursue it seriously past my early 20s. And I wish that I was in a space where I could have, because it's something that I still enjoy to this day, but it doesn't bring me the same
satisfaction,
fulfillment that it used to. So
yeah, I wanted the people to know that you
Okay.
get your singing on. Yeah. So with being impatient, wanting things to happen on your time.
yes, I can be like that now. I'm not gonna even lie. It's something it's a work in
it's
progress.
still-
Impatience in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much with my children. I'm very patient with my children. I've learned such patience with them. But even in like a situation I'm in now, I've had to learn patience. And it has not come easy. It's come with a lot of hurt feelings. I can't necessarily say heartache, but just I'm so sure of what I desire from a partner now that when I allow someone into my space at the moment, I still expect them to be almost kind of like ready for what I'm ready for. And so I just have to learn, like, they're not there yet. Are you willing to allow them space to grow and mature and to get there, if it's going to get there at all? And just be patient with that. And so it's still difficult. It can be difficult for me even still. But I'm learning a lot of patience, a lot of compassion, a lot of grace. I'm being taught many lessons at the moment. And so I just, I take them as they come, but I look at them as, I just try to think of them positively, and I don't know, it's life. It's life. You just take it as it comes, but.
So when you sit back and you reflect to say, these are the issues, because you've identified where you went wrong in certain situations.
Yes.
Does it ever put you in a mindset to be guarded off on giving real opportunity? Or do you feel like, no, I give this opportunity and they still come up short, or, I'm still putting this type of energy into a new situation?
I can't necessarily say I'm guarded. I believe in giving 100% of whatever I'm willing to give and whatever I can give, regardless of the outcome. I've had so many negative results of so many situations that I can pretty much cope with any negative outcome that may or may not come from a situation. So it's like, well, I'm not going to give 50%. Let me just give my 100. I don't know what they're willing to give. But if what they're willing to give is not where I need it to be, then I know I can remove myself from the situation. But I don't know. I take it. I'm learning to take it a day at a time. But I still give. In any new situation, I just give what I don't think you should give 50% of yourself. I'm like, if I can just have 50% of you, I don't want any of it. Like, give your all. You may get hurt. I've been hurt too. But I'm a risk taker. We're going to risk this together.
I like that.
And I'm going to need you to be ready.
Yeah. Don't waste your time. So the energy that you put out and knowing what you want, looking at past situations that you feel like didn't work, whether it was, what you put into it, or having the mindset of you need to be ready the way I'm ready.
Yeah.
Has it gotten to a space where things are so much better for you now? And the same type of men that was only giving you either 50% or not ready for what you actually wanted, has it gotten to a space where now the right type of men approach you? Not that you dealing with them, but they actually approach you, because sometimes we deal with the same negative type of mentalities that we have, and it attracts a certain type of person to reach out to us and try and mess with us.
Yes.
When you change it, you might get a different result.
Yes,
Has that happened?
because I have changed it, because I because I give off such a positive energy. It's funny that you say that because I really don't get approached by as many people as people would think I do.
It's different now.
When I'm out. I just don't. Maybe in a club setting, but just like in a grocery store or just out. I'll get compliments or whatever, but not just like approach. Oh my goodness, I haven't gotten approached in so long being out. And not that that's a bad thing. It's just something that it's just my experience. But what did you ask me?
What did I ask? Oh, well, the type of guy that approaches
Okay,
you.
the type of guy. What I will say is I'm not attracted to the same type of guy today that I was 5 years ago or even 10 years ago. So no. And that's probably why they don't approach me, because I find the places that I go to, I tend to run into the same or a similar type of guy that I'm used to attracting in the past. It's
that
like,
you don't want.
Can somebody order some new niggas, please? Like,
Yeah.
why are these same types of men? Because I used to be interested in what I thought was the thug, what I thought was not necessarily drug dealer, but like street, had some type of hood
Aura about it.
aura. I'm gonna say aura, not mentality. Not mentality. I don't like the hood. I've never liked the hood mentality because I'm a lady of class. I'm a classy lady.
I like that.
But I do like I like the roughness of that, maybe, or the directness of it, or the authoritativeness that brings. I do like that aspect. But as far as like the still being in the streets and risking your life and possibly going to jail and all that other stuff, like, that's not for me anymore, and I'm not into that. But I tend to still attract that type of guy, so I don't really get too far in the relationship area of my life. And for a long time I was like content. It was like, well, I'll just be the lady. I'm gonna get a cat or something and just I had made peace with that at a certain point in my life. Like recently I was like, well, I guess I'll just, take it day by day. I really might not meet people, or I'll talk to somebody here or there and phone conversation. Or the thing about that, though, is because I'm not meeting the person that I desire, hadn't met the person that I desired, I would entertain people out of boredom. Like, you want to go to dinner? Well, not really. I'm not saying this to them, but it's like, well, not really, but I ain't been out on a date in 8 months.
You're the only one asking, so let's roll.
You're the only one asking right now. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, we can go eat, and it'll be like a one-time thing, or maybe even a couple of time thing, but in the back of my mind, I knew that it wasn't going to carry on into this wonderful relationship, and we're going to go off into the sunset, and this is just it for me. Like, it's never turned into that, but I don't know. It's just, it's a little rough right now. I'm content right now, though, where I am.
Okay.
In the situationship I'm in now.
Situationship. Seeing where it go, right?
I'm good with seeing where it goes right now. I'm good.
So if we exploring the bad guys that's approached you, we're not going to say bad, but the same type of guy that you don't want.
Yes.
What type of guy are you really interested in? What kind of qualities do you think he should have?
Self-aware.
Self-aware.
Compromising. Kind heart. A giver. And not necessarily monetarily, but just willing to give of himself.
Okay.
Willingness to learn, willingness to, because I'm so compromising. Like, maybe I'm not, I try to, when I'm with someone, like, see what their need is, whether it's mental, whether it's, everybody doesn't require the same thing. And I try to be that for the person. And it doesn't take anything away from me. I don't feel anyway, because I'm like, well, if it doesn't work out, I'm hoping at least they got what they needed for that moment. Because sometimes you just come into somebody's life to be what they need for that moment, and you move along,
Or season.
Yeah.
For the longest, I had to take a step back and realize I never knew what type of woman I was really looking for. All I knew was I didn't want nobody in the club, because I wasn't in the club like that.
But why is that the worst thing?
I think
Because what if that's just her thing?
I think growing up
Respectfully.
I think growing up where I grew up, realizing that everybody that typically just stayed in the club, they started being in their 30s still doing it, in their 40s still doing it.
You know what I'm saying?
But I felt like it was always so much more out there.
Because you were doing so much more.
Because I was doing
you were searching for so much
so
more.
I expected them to have the same standard. You couldn't be in the club with me. I didn't smoke weed. So if I caught you smoking weed, I didn't look at you like that.
Okay.
I still deal with you. But that's all. It was going to be a situationship.
That's where the judgment comes in.
The judgment.
Okay.
I was king of it. I had the list.
Okay.
Like if you didn't meet these qualifications. Yeah.
Okay.
Even if I looked at your circle to say, okay, you're expressing to me that you want this, that, and the other. But all I see you do is go deal with a whole bunch of people that they don't want any of that. They're fine with nothing. And you really trying to make me believe that you want all of this stuff?
Right.
And I'm supposed to give it to you?
Yeah.
Oh, no, sweetheart. No. So it was easy for me to just kind of situationship it alone. It was cool. But for the longest, I didn't really take a step back to realize you don't really know what you want, because I've met women that met just that, and it didn't go nowhere.
Yeah.
I was still at that moment looking for
something
the flaw.
Mm-hmm.
What else is wrong? I can't do this.
You meet all these. Was it you meet all of this? What is wrong with you?
Instantly.
Okay.
And I was gonna find it.
Okay.
I was gonna find it.
And because you were and because you were searching so deep, you always found it.
Always.
It was like, okay.
Or I created, I think.
And you I
think I created.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Not only did you find that you created.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was the problem.
Kind of self-sabotage your own little situation instead of just letting it be what it's gonna be.
Selfish.
Yeah.
Very judgmental.
Yeah.
My way or the highway. I was the king of it. And after a while, I kind of got to a point where it was like, yeah, I could always get somebody else, but
we always can.
But
you know what I'm saying?
I don't think that I didn't think that I would ever get to a space where I said, I'm tired of
searching. You tired of the search?
I wasn't tired of watching you get up out my bed to go wherever you going, and I ain't got nobody just for me. Like now, I'm at the point where, in this particular moment, it ain't so cool to take anybody on vacation.
No.
It ain't so cool to take anybody to a particular restaurant.
Can't share your space and energy with just anybody. No. That is such a thing. That's such a thing, because I feel the same way. I'm just at that space. I don't know if I attribute it to just age, but I'm just at that space mentally. It's just like, I don't just want to share my space with anybody. I don't want to share my energy with just anybody. Sometimes the way a person's the way they think turns me off. I'll be like, even if instantly I'm like, dang, you kind of a good guy, but I don't like the way you think. That's really, regardless of if you say it, because people may say they're saying things in a joking manner, but I'm like, no, that's really how you feel about this. Yes. And that's just, it doesn't work. It don't align with what with my life, what I'm trying to bring into my space. It's not going to work for me.
You ever came across somebody in their 30s but mentally 18?
All the time.
Gotta be the worst.
Yeah.
Because I've met women that's in that same mindset. Yep. Like, I never want the woman that coming and talk to me and telling me, I like this about you. You're business minded, and you got a career going for yourself. I love all of these things about you, and I want to do this, and I want to be an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. Oh man, it's great. But then as soon as I look up, you and somebody in the club fighting still. Mm-hmm. You on social media going back and forth, airing somebody's business out.
That mindset is a thing. Okay.
18 mentally. Like we did that years ago. And I'm not saying, because I've seen situations where people didn't say certain things about me on social media and I wanted to lash out. Sometimes I have. I'm not saying it's not human nature, but to
you gotta speak up sometimes. Sometimes all you have is your reputation. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. I can't always. I'm gonna be the bigger person sometimes, but
not all the time.
Sometimes things need to be addressed, and you just have to,
I used to love the saying, "You let one person slide, everybody get the ice skate." Yeah. And I wanted to eliminate that instantly. Like, we finna shut this down. So, yeah, I definitely think that played a role. That mentality. You could have the good looks, the conversation is on point.
That's not enough. People think that's enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
So, with putting out what type of guy you want, knowing what the issues have been in these relationships, are you still hopeful that you
Absolutely.
can get in that so you keep hope alive?
Yes.
You don't shut that door.
Billions of people in the world.
Yes,
you know
it
what I
is.
mean?
Yes,
and just
it
because
is.
I live in a demographic where I may not see that as a possibility, I can remove myself from here. You know, I don't have to. This is where I am now. This is where my family is. This is where I'm comfortable. But this is not like as they have said, the end all to be all. And so I'm here now, but oh my goodness, no, I'm extremely hopeful. Like, that's just, yeah, I don't shut off any possibilities for anything. Like, that's just, they say the sky's the limit, and it is. You know, it may not have worked out here. It may not work out somewhere else, but it eventually is going to work out for me, and I just keep that hope alive.
I'm hoping you could clear the air for me with something.
Okay.
I've never got nobody to answer this for me, but you alluded to this, not to say you think this way now, but you said earlier, I've always wanted somebody, not necessarily that he has to be hood, but along those lines of have that aura. And I've always wondered, where's the fascination with that when it comes to women? Because I've also heard people say, he's too nice. And I say, well, what's too nice? You know, I don't need the good morning every morning.
I need all of that. There is no such thing as too nice. It have to
Thank
be a good
you.
balance. There is
Thank
no
you.
look. I need you to be obsessed with me, okay? Like I need.
Turn that mic up, homeboy. This get good. Turn that mic up.
I need my guy to be like obsessed because I'm an obsessive person. I'm gonna be all over you like you're gonna be all over me. That's just where I am right now. It's all this half-assing and all this. I don't have time for none of that. Like,
It's too much.
I need you to be about me. I'm going to be about you. If this needs to be a mutual thing. If it's not, I'm going to move along, and that's fine with me. Like, somebody's going to do it. I will find someone to do this, and
But
I'm
you
okay
do know
with
that's
that.
a common thing where, like, a lot of
Oh,
women
I hear that.
say,
I think it's just the mentality of the demographic. Like, we live in it. I just, we come from the same area. We just live in an area where we are taught so many negative views on relationships because it's a lot of us share baby daddies for one, so it's a lot of split homes. Let's just bring that to the forefront. It's so many reasons. We could say fatherless homes. We can say all of this stuff. But I think as we become adults, we really need to look into therapy for ourselves or some type of self-awareness, some type of self-therapy. Like if maybe you can't get it from somewhere else. Maybe you don't want to go see a therapist because that's so frowned upon. But, I can't necessarily say the things I've healed from, I've sought through therapy. Although I will say women do have an easier time overcoming some things because we do have outlets where we can vent. We have friends. And I can say personally, I was blessed with an extremely wonderful, amazing group of friends where we can talk about anything and it's not going to go any further than the group that we talked about it in. And so that allows us to vent, necessarily provide feedback without feeling judged, without feeling it's just such a safe space that my circle of people have provided for me. And so I was able to heal that way. And I was some of it I just had to do on my own as well. But I think that's so important.
It is.
That we really need to heal from a lot of our childhood traumas. And even today, I've realized that I have been in situations where I have been triggered to a point in my life as a child. And I was like, and what I mean by that is I've had a situation where someone, maybe they said something to me or made me feel some type of way that I remember feeling as a child, that I may have remembered my mom making me feel or my mom saying to me. And that has affected me negatively because it's like, whoa, I had to take a step back. Like, wait a minute, now I'm triggered. Like I thought I had done all this healing. I thought I had gotten to this place where I'm like, come on, throw it at me. I can take anything. But it was like, oh, wait, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. You made me feel like I was when I was 5 years old, and my mother said that to me. Like, so it's going to always be a process. Just because you've gotten to a certain point, it doesn't mean that there will not be moments in your life that you are triggered to an emotion from your past, but is learning to even deal with that and be able to move forward and grow from it. So
yeah. When it comes to relationships, I'm gonna tell you something that I kind of found that because one thing that has been a struggle for me, which I made mention of it earlier, is the whole affection thing.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I'll find the dopest wedding proposal and watch it over and over and over. I love videos.
I won't
like
even
that.
watch those. I'm going to be honest, I'm an affectionate person. I'm
gonna send you one because it's dope. It's dope. This brother here laid it down. I sent it to my man before he got married.
Only because in the back of my mind it's like, I want that, but I don't know if I'm gonna find it. But I'm still remaining hopeful. But you know what I'm saying? So I'll watch them, but I'll be like, I have to catch myself with that too, because I'm like, I'm still kind of feeling some type of way because that hasn't happened for me, and I want that from someone, But
and I start watching that to go along with what you were saying, like the self-healing and the therapy. I start watching the shortcomings that I knew I had in a relationship. I start finding myself wanting to communicate back and forth, figure out what's going on. Important. Yeah, finding outlets like I find other people that I'm close to in relationships and ask them, okay, this is what I did. This is how I reacted. What's your opinion on it? Keep it real with me. Well, how do you deal with this? If your girl is doing A, B, and C, and this just irks my nerves, how do you hold on to still saying this is worth it?
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I'm so
you know what?
So you gotta go. This ain't it. This ain't
working for me. I'm gonna move on.
But then you realize you just repeating the same.
You'll be doing that with everybody.
I
had to learn that. I'm like, I had to learn that because like the smallest things tick me off. I don't have to deal with that. And it wasn't even like nothing that should be a relationship breaker. But to me, I was like, you know what? You raise your voice. I don't have to deal with that.
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
I'm going to move along.
But it
happened the next time. So it's like, well, damn.
Yeah. Everybody's going to do it.
I need to just, you just have to come to the realization people are not going to be perfect. But if it's more positive than negative that you like about a person, or if you genuinely like a person, or you genuinely want to see where something could possibly build into, it's like communication. And that in those moments, communication is so big. Yeah. It's like, well, let me just talk about it. It's not necessarily about who's right or wrong, but let's tell me your perception of what happened. Let me tell you mine, and let's mutually come to some type of resolution and say, well, you saw it that way. I didn't really see it that way, but I understand, and that's okay. I don't expect you to think like me. I can't always, you can't expect me to think like you. But let's come together and let's move on.
Have you had any other shortcomings when it comes to relationships that you can think of that you want to put out to the people, to where if they're dealing with this or going down that road, it's something that they can catch on and correct?
I can say that it can be difficult to date as a parent. I don't like to throw the word single in there.
Okay.
I'm a single mother. And I'll just leave it at that.
Holding
but it can be, I'm holding it down. So sometimes the intimate relationships you have can spill over into how you parent your children. And I've had that issue in the past, to where, maybe me and a certain person was going through something and it was bad, because it seems like those intimate attachments seem to affect you more than just like the relationships you have with your children. Because it's like, well, I know they're going to love me at the end of the day. We just have this certain connection. I'm their mom. I'm assuming they know I love them. But when your guy is, when you and your guy is at odds, it's like, you don't be wanting to.
Different monster.
I know I've been in a situation I was like, I don't even really want to deal with these kids right now. I am going through something. And the light bulb moment came when my oldest son, he's 17. He may have been around 7 or 8. Just felt like I didn't love him. That I was treating him differently than I was his younger brother. That was really an eye opener for me, because I kind of tried to explain to him, it's hard to explain to him what you're going through intimately. So, you know, and life and so many other things that we're trying to heal from and trying to grow from. It's just a lot of different factors when it comes to what affects parenting. But I really just had to explain to him, like, you know, I love you, but you're a different person than you are your brother. And sometimes even that explanation isn't good enough. So I had to really just ask him, what do you need from me to feel loved? And when he kind of sat down and broke it down to me, then I had to change the way I parented. And I couldn't just say, well, you and your brother are different, you know. So just take away what you need to take away from it. You know, I love you both. Sometimes that's not good enough. We just have to adapt to what they need. And so I've done that, and we've been amazing ever since.
I like that because I just touched on that in my last podcast episode. Well, not the last, but the one before that. And it's a heart-to-heart conversation with my son dealing with that. I was so hell-bent on proving him wrong in a situation that I felt he created, that I was dropping the ball being a parent and had to get myself into the space to say, all right, this is what we're dealing with. How do we fix this? How do we move forward? You know, I'm acknowledging what you saying is hurting you or you're dealing with. Let's build on that. But I'll tell you a funny story of shortcomings in relationships. So I dealt with a woman years ago, and I used to have all these complaints. You did this wrong, you club in here, I don't like the way you live in your life. You know, I had the list ran down. You've never worked a job over a year. Every time I look up, you quit and you working. And I'm just like, is there anything stable in your life? You know, how do you claim that you like me? But then I realized, oh, you over here messing with this person. I mean, I had it, the list went on. And it took me years to actually listen to what this woman said. Although I didn't like some of the decisions that she made, she sat there and she told me things that I did and that we experienced could have been avoided had you just communicated and let me know what we were.
Yeah.
Just tell me what we were.
Yes, that part.
And I'm like, damn. It was that simple.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I would never give her a title. I liked it. We did all boyfriend and girlfriend stuff. Right. All.
That's a big problem
we did
too.
It. But see, I was in fear that if I gave you a title and you did something wrong, everybody would ha me. Your girl did this. Your girl was messing with. In my mind, I was going to avoid that. So I never gave you a full title.
But she was going to do it anyway.
She was going to do it anyway.
And y'all didn't have a title, and they still associate you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, the association is still there. People just like to link people with other people. But
so, fellas, if you like her,
let it be known.
Ain't nothing wrong with liking her.
Speak them intentions.
Ain't nothing wrong with if you doing right. Women are not so quick. You got some, but women are not so quick to get out here and dog you, make you look crazy, ruin your reputation that you're trying to hold on to. Make your intentions known and stick to that. It's okay to be in love. It's okay to express, I feel this way about her. You know, she makes me feel this way. We got to get out of that mindset of just stringing people along for no reason. And then when they do something that we deem no. Now we want to cry, complain, moan, disrespect.
But we weren't even together. Like, we spent a lot of time together. We did these things, but we weren't.
What we do, though? I bought you this.
Yeah.
I took you here. I treated you like...
You wanted to do that. Okay. Because you liked me. And so if you either going to like me or you don't. There's, let's quit playing this game. Like, well, I don't want to make her my girlfriend, but we're going to spend time together. We're going to do all this together. We're going to go out on dates. We're going to, all these things, all these relationship things, and that's fine, but don't expect the complete loyalty from us, because it's like, well, that's nice, he's doing this over here, but he's not what's the word, he's not not owned. We don't like to be owned, but we do like to be, I'm gonna say, spoken for. This is my guy. We like to know that, this guy is ours. He's made that clear. Regardless of other females, we don't so much care about that, but it's like, he let y'all know I'm his and he's mine. This is what it is. Yeah,
I like that though.
Yeah, we do like that.
That's a real thing that needs to.
We like to be claimed.
Exactly. And dudes want to be too, because trust me,
but when we're not, we don't want you all to expect like complete loyalty, because it's like, Well, you haven't spoken your
It
intentions.
ain't clear. Yeah.
And we do a lot together, but I'm gonna, somebody called me over here. I'm gonna see what he's talking about too. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't want us to keep our options open, we like to be claimed.
Mm-hmm. So you made mention that you do have a situationship going on. Is that something you just trying to figure out where it's going, or is that a situation to where I'm not dealing with anybody else until I figure out what this is?
Regardless of this situationship or not, I'm just in a space where I can't share my energy with multiple people, so I'm not even really interested in dating over here and over there and over there and over there. Regardless of what this situation is, that's just not me.
Okay.
I'm a very as I've grown, I have always been pretty sensitive and had a good spirit of what the church folks say of discernment of people. So I know when energies are bad, I know when intentions are bad, I know when, and even though sometimes I may know that they're bad, I may stick in a situation just because, like I say, like
something to do.
It'd be something to do sometimes. But this particular situation, I am just interested in this particular situation. I'm not really interested in talking to nobody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say that was a situation that was non-existent.
Okay.
How would this guy, who's along the lines of what you're looking for now, how should he approach a woman like you?
I'm not difficult to approach. I'm very personable. I don't have an attitude. I'm pleasant. But you do have to pick on the social cues of when I'm not interested. And especially if I tell you I'm not interested. Like, you cannot force me into a situation. You cannot buy me into a situation. I either like you or I don't. And they don't have to come with you. Have to have all these, money is nice. But money for me is not the deal breaker.
Not the end all be all.
Get some money. Not that I've been holding it down by myself for a long time. I'm gonna need you to come in eventually and take some of this off my hands if we get serious. But I don't expect a man to come in like, I'm paying all your bills. I'm paying your. If you want to do that, that's up to you. But then, are we gonna make this a thing? Like, what are we working towards? That's not really a requirement of mine specifically. But money has its place in the world. Just approach me. Say, I've been interested in you, but you have to come correct. Now, don't come to me knowing that you don't deserve me. And I mean that in a humble, I mean that in the nicest way possible. Like, if you feel like, if you holding me to a certain standard and you don't meet that, don't approach me. And I'm gonna just say that, like, oh, you've always been classy, or you've always been whatever you feel about me, whatever high thoughts you have, or however you feel like I carry myself, and that you don't carry yourself in that way, or your intentions for me are just like, I'm gonna see if she talked to me because I know her baby daddy. Like, people have done that before. Like, you tried it because you said y'all was friends, but whatever. Don't do that because I'm not
one friend. Obviously, one friend because you tried it.
Yeah, I'm not into that. Like, just be real, be genuine. I'm gonna always be myself, whether it's emotional, I don't know. I like to have fun. I like to be spontaneous. I like to adventurous. I like to travel. Like, you have to be into something, though. I will say that. So, you gotta have a car.
I posted this on social media. I'm just curious to know because you're the first woman that came on the podcast for one, so thank you, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I'm having a blast.
What's your thought process on there was a post that was put up by Justin LeBoy. People love to post all his stuff. So he posted, if you're in a relationship and you're going 50-50 with your man, that's no longer your man, that's your roommate. Y'all living together, going 50-50. Do you feel like you could go 50-50 with a man? Or do you feel like it's a man's place to not put you in a position to have to go 50-50?
That is such a good question. Would I go 50-50? Ladies, y'all are going to hate me for this. I will say yes. I'm doing 100-100 right now. And unless he's making millions of dollars or unless he has the financial stability or situation to fully, it takes a lot to run a household nowadays. The cost of living is really high. 50 is taking a lot off my plate.
A lot.
I don't know. That's just me.
I'm glad you said
Y'all
it.
don't dog me out for that, okay?
I'm glad you said it because
but I would take 50-50. Honestly, I'm paying 100 by
50-50.
I'm doing everything by myself right now, which I have been for years. Which that's I'm an adult. That's fine. I'm a mom. I made decisions to be in this situation, but yes, absolutely.
I like that.
It would be yes, and I would love his dirty draws and respect him and all of that. My respect for a man does not lay in his pockets. Like, men have so much more value outside of just money. Money has its place, but that's not. We are such a society of like, if he don't have money, I can't respect him. I've slept with niggas that didn't have nothing, and I still respected them. So, y'all cut it out with all this, because a lot of y'all ain't got shit either. So.
She ain't give you the chance again, but she just acknowledged that it has happened. She ain't giving you the chance again.
Yeah, you won't get the chance. I was young. I can't necessarily say I didn't know any better. If I wanted to do it again, I would, but I'm just saying, like, that's not the determining factor of who I want to be with, what's in his pockets. It's just not.
I'm glad that you brought that up because I wanted a woman's perspective on it. The issue that I think a lot of people don't take into consideration. There's a lot of women who want to show their independence, show that, I'm more than just
I'm sick
what
of
you
this shit.
think.
I'm tired.
I'm going to help. Also, I think that a lot of people don't look at there's a lot of benefits to doing it. Run your household how you want to, but there could be people saying we're going to split everything 50-50. But the extra money that we also have, we're going to put into investments.
Account, yes.
We can buy real estate. We can open up daycares, a club, hookah lounge, you name it. Whatever is out there that can be
lucrative. But you got to see the vision. If you ain't seeing the vision, it's always going to be an issue. Yeah. I want him to provide. What I require a man to provide for me is maybe not be what you need.
Totally different.
Yeah. Mine personally is like I need emotional and mental stability. Not so much financial. Financial has its place, but what I require from a partner is money is not on the number one on the list.
Yeah. And I also want to point out too, because I don't want this part to get lost. I definitely think it's an unfair situation if a woman is making $30,000-$40,000 and you $200,000-$250,000 and you talking about some, that's ridiculous at that point.
No, you gonna cover what you can, and I'm gonna pay, what I can, the cable or the lights or whatever. I'm gonna contribute something. Women always contribute something to the house, whether it's making sure you 3 meals a day if you need 3 meals a day. Like, I'm gonna make sure you got what you need. You need your clothes ironed, you need them washed. Let me make sure you don't have to do nothing when you get home.
Real. I like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I just wanted your perspective on it, because I've had these conversations with people before, and it get a little tricky at times. Is there any other thing that you would like to throw out? Doesn't have to even be pertaining to this situation here. You can give shout outs if there's something that came to your mind that you want to explore, bring out. We can definitely go down that road.
Well, I just want to say to all my ladies, if you are losing hope in these relationships, just be patient. Something I would like to have said to my younger self coming up that when I didn't know any better, be patient. Love yourself more. I loved myself, but I was operating a lot of times off pain from a lot of situations I was in. Be kind. Think positively. A situation does not last always. And learn when it's time to walk away. We carry on situations for a lot longer than we need to. And we just need to, because we love so hard and we hate to see situations, And we don't like to be alone either, It is what it is, but just learn to walk away, love yourself, love your children. And I love y'all.
I like that. Well, Nikki, I appreciate you coming on. You're the first woman guest that I've actually had. I've had a lot of respect for you over the years, the way you've carried yourself. You embrace the flaws, the pros. You're not a person that just, praise me, and that's it. Like, everything that has come with you in general, you accept it. You you somebody that I think people ought to pay attention to and sit there and say
that.
like, hey, I could respect that. However you feel, you own it, and that's your situation. So
own it.
Again, thank you for coming on the podcast. Hopefully this don't be your last time.
I hope not either. I've had an amazing time here.
We're gonna with the Stella. With the Stella. By the way,
a vibe, okay?
Stella Rose. So I appreciate y'all tuning in to this episode of the Thought Provoking Podcast. Catch me next week. We got more stuff for you.